Hey everyone. After dropping off the wife and daughter at the airport this morning, I said we were going to do a little work on the skid steer, I think. If I didn't say it, well, that's what we're doing. So anyways, we're in my father's garage, and here's the skid steer. You can see I already removed the bucket. Bucket's here. So what I need to do is remove these brackets and install them onto this quick attach system, these latches, and then the plate here that they're on will get welded on the back of the bucket afterwards, so I can use it as a quick attach. And the reason being is I have a set of quick attach forks for it that I'm going to use hopefully to pick up firewood crates and put them in the kiln eventually. So that's what we're doing. We're working on that. I'll take a little footage here and bring you along with me, and we'll see how it goes. So figuring out exactly how I'm going to do this is going to be a little tricky because this bucket has been worked on multiple times. I mean, the welds look terrible. It looks like somebody bubble gummed everything together. Yeah, the holes are egged out a little bit and stuff. Adapters, I mean, the bushings are broke off. But it's like they got these brackets here, but then they pieced in pieces in between them. And this looks like it's probably original on the bucket. So it's just, it's almost like this bucket came from something else and they retrofitted it down here or something. The way it's cut here, it looks like this was possibly originally a quick attach bucket, because it's got part of the slots that these locks lock into, but I'm not really sure what they got going on here. So it might be better to cut all this off and then weld the new plate onto the bucket, and then at least I'll know where, between that and the measurements I took on the arms, I'll know where my spacing needs to be. But it's just, it's going to be a tricky process or whatever, so just bear with me on it. So folks, while we're sitting here with a dead battery, I got a couple on the charger, but you can see I've got the brackets removed. It's kind of a pain in the butt. They were welded solid all the way down through the one side. Took a lot of gouging with the torch. Did all right. I got a little hole I put through here, a couple little pinholes here, but nothing too bad. When I put the new plate on, I can just touch them up, fill them in. It'll be fine, but it's kind of pretty pitted. Somebody's cleaned it up and painted it before, but it's what I got, so it's going to have to do. You see down here on the floor, here's the brackets that I took off. I'm gonna have to use a good chunk of those to incorporate with these new latch systems. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld this carrier plate here onto the bucket after I get the grinding done. I'll get it clamped on there first, and then I'll, once I have it clamped on there, I'll mark the edges of it, take it back off, grind it all down around it so I'll make sure I'll be welding in a good spot, put it back on, recenter it all, and get that all welded on solid all the way around. So that'll get me to the point of where I can then latch those new latch systems into it. I think that's how I'll do it. And then pull the machine up to it, center it, and know, you know, I'm gonna trim these down. You see I made a line across here. I'm gonna cut them off here, cut this piece down smaller, but leave these two pieces on this plate for strength and to help give me enough to be able to center it on these brackets. So I think, like I said, I'll put, after I trim those, I'll put them back on the machine. You see where somebody really cobbled the welds here when they had spacers welded in, they all fell right off. You see one fell off on this side, this one's still on here. I don't know who welded it, but the welds are not pretty at all. I might have to strengthen them a little bit just to make sure it doesn't fall apart afterwards. But once I get those brackets trimmed, I'll get them put back onto the machine on each side. And then I can take these plates, latch them into that plate, which will be welded to the bucket, get them centered, everything, and then tack weld those brackets to these brackets. Maybe some adjustment, I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna go. Measurement wise, I'm not positive it's gonna work right, so we'll have to get it together to that point and just go from there. It's one little piece at a time. You gotta, that's how you tackle a problem, right? They say how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So I decided once it looked kind of overwhelming with all the measurements and stuff that need to be taken, I decided to get this stripped down, weld the new plate on first, and at least that you know what it has to be done. As long as it's centered and everything, that's right. And then we'll work on making that work to the machine. So I don't really want to modify that plate at all because that's a standard configuration for a skid steer quick attach. And if I mess with that to make it fit, then that means every other attachment I would get, I would have to mess with to make it fit. And I already have a set of forks for it in the shipping container, and I don't want to have to mess around with that stuff. So we're going to do what we have to do to make it work. But anyways, that's it for now. Just give you a quick look around. That's my S10 up there. Hopefully one day I'd like to restore it, drop a V8 in it. I'm not sure yet, but the kid's go-kart over there, I really should get that going for. And over here, maybe I'll do a little video on this sometime. That's my father's Ranchero. I think it's a 65. But anyways, he was a body man for years. I mentioned that in one of my other videos, and he's been making all the floor pans and stuff in that. That'll be a good little video where I can plug him a little bit. But for now, I'm out. Hey everyone, a little update on the bucket. See, I've got the plate for the quick attach tack welded onto the bucket. I've got to draw this in here. There's a little bit of a gap on both sides. But we got good even spacing on both sides. I'll come up with a little trick to draw these down, and then we'll get them tacked, and then I can finish welding it. So what do you think? So I decided to keep it simple. I just went with a ratchet strap, hooked over on this side of the bucket. See the hook there? Comes around underneath, hooks on here. Now you have a nice tight gap all the way up through. Time to weld her up. Well, that's a wrap for today, folks. Got the plate all welded on the bucket all the way around. And I got the quick attach latches sitting in there so I could take measurements of where I needed to mount my plates. I still got to trim these up. I did weld the bushings back on and stuff, the things that weren't really done very well. It's still not perfect, but I'm starting with a mess, so it'll function. But I got to trim these down to 8 inches wide and clean everything up. And then they will get mounted on here. I'll have to put a filler plate behind it so it sits flush because these plates just aren't wide enough. They really should be out another 4 inches. I don't know, maybe they have them available with wider plates, but I already have these and I don't want to spend the money for new ones, so I'll make them work. But anyways, that's it for today. We'll catch up with me next time and take a look at it and see how the progress goes. Have a good night.